To further make sense of the pandemonium that unfolded earlier, as you saw in the West Bengal Assembly, joining us on the show are Debjani Bhattacharya, BJP leader from Bengal, and Anirban Banerjee, a political analyst who supports the Trinamool Congress. Now, quite literally, it seems to be the TMC versus the BJP MLAs in the House. Debjani Bhattacharya, I'd like to come to you first. It's unprecedented that MLAs clash on the floor of the House of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. Your first thoughts?
Yes, what I would like to say is it is a perception problem. TMC thinks themselves to be the ruler of Bengal. They are unable to digest the concept of democracy. Instead of being people's representative, Mamata Banerjee turned people's ruler, and hence TMC doesn't like being questioned. It is true that BJP is actually protesting on the ground, and they are protesting in the assembly also, and they are supposed to do that. They were in demand so that Madam speaks in the assembly against this about the overall law and order situation, but that someone asked her to speak didn't go well with them, because it is if the media comes on the ground to Bengal, then democracy doesn't prevail here. In our democracy, it's a triped democracy, basically consisting of executives, legislature and judiciary. But in case of Bengal, both executive and legislature, means the administration and the legislature, has merged into one, and hence the state is now standing on two podia, and hence it is unstable. Democracy is not there. That is why someone is being questioned. The CM is being questioned on law and order situation. Naturally, she would be questioned. That is very natural, but that is not being digested by them. Why would you ask? Yesterday, CM said that the person who died is Trinamool, the person whose house got burned was Trinamool's. Then why are you actually, what she wanted to say, that is my loss, I would understand, who are you to talk about it? This is the attitude of Trinamool, this is the attitude of Mamata Banerjee. She turned into people's ruler instead from a people's representative. I would also request you to just watch yesterday's program at North Bengal, where Mamata Banerjee was distributing assistance to the widows of the state. The way the Chief Secretary introduced her, the Chief Secretary of the state, H.K. Dwivedi, introduced her in a way as if he is a servant of herself, her personal servant, not the public servant. The way he spoke is not the kind of expressions we expect from the public servant, from the Chief Secretary of a place. This is absolutely in doldrums. Bengal democracy has fallen. That's my point.
Right, Debjani Bhattacharya from the BJP claiming that democracy has fallen in West Bengal. Anirban Banerjee, to you next. Let's take a look at that video again, and we're going to try and breathe the natural sound as well for you. Do you think? Let's have a look at this video first. Right. Anirban Banerjee, do you think demanding a discussion over the Birbhum violence warrants this kind of reaction?
Well, had this been a reaction from the ruling party, then it would have been the leader of opposition who would have been admitted to the hospital and not one of the MLAs from the ruling party. But the important question that came to my mind is that no kind of mobile or cell phones or recording devices are allowed inside the assembly. Then from where did this video emerge? It was Mr. AMIT, MALVIYA and SHAH who has tweeted this video. From where did they get this video? Who was recording this part? Was this pre-planned? I mean, it was the TMC MLA Mr. Ashit Majumdar from Chuchura, who had defeated the BJP MP Locket Chatterjee in the last election, who got his nose broken. But anyway, I am not very surprised, because it is the BJP leaders who have been behaving in a manner which is very, very normal and natural for them. Whatever they do in the streets, They have simply replicated that inside the assembly, demanding a statement from the Chief Minister, who is on a visit to North Bengal for a few days, which is known to everyone, not just the BJP MLAs. That is fine. You can demand a statement from the Chief Minister or from other ministers. You can ask a question. But coming down on the well and beating up, first of all, the women MLAs, then the women marshals, and eventually breaking the nose of a senior politician. He might be from another party, but he is a senior member of the assembly. If I am not very wrong, this is his third term, and you break his nose just to prove a point. So this is the kind of opposition who claims that there is no democracy. Had there been no democracy, had this been a Adityanath Raj, then it would have been the BJP leaders who would have been admitted to the hospital, not the other way around. Therefore, in my personal opinion, this was pre-planned and very well crafted and well staged by the BJP, only to disturb the ongoing proceedings of the assembly.
Right, Debjani Bhattacharya, do you sense, just picking up on what Anirban has just said, do you sense some sort of intolerance towards the other as far as Mamata Banerjee's rule in West Bengal is concerned?
Yeah, actually, see what Mr. Banerjee said, that had it been that, then a BJP leader would have been injured. Means, you can understand this reflects the mindset. In a state, if someone has to be injured, then that person would be in the opposition. Normally, an opposition leader is supposed to be injured, not a ruling party man. So this is the perception. That
violence
is exactly
of
what
any
I'm
sort
saying.
Is actually condemnable, ma'am. It's not about...
It is by any source. See, madam, I really think that all these things we cannot do. I can't imagine these things, that someone's nose would be broken, but Manoj Tigga's shirt was torn, he was choked. We have seen the visual.
But let's be clear, whether it's inside the assembly or outside the assembly, this kind of behavior is absolutely shameful. I'm sure you'd agree.
Absolutely, and you know, it is unimaginable, not only shameful, this is not a civilized behavior at all from anyone's part. My point is, going into the well is also absolutely a convention. People do it, also do it in the Lok Sabha and also in the Vidhan Sabha. These are practices. Now, why should such a situation at all be created so that someone's shirt being torn and someone's throat was pushed behind? And what is this? I mean, but if you look at the antecedents of Trinamool Congress, Trinamool has broken the whole assembly hall once upon a time during left rule. They broke all chairs, tables. You know, they are basically, if you look into the frontliners of Trinamool, there are two types of people. One is the civil force, civil frontliner. Other one is the criminal frontliner. And we know about the criminal frontliners. The civil frontliners only, they behave like this. The civil frontliners broke the whole assembly once.
I'm afraid I'm completely out of time on this discussion. I'd just like to thank you, Debjani and Anirban, for joining us and for your great insight into the matter. Here's hoping we don't ever have to see pandemonium and these wild scenes unfolding in any assembly, inside or outside the assembly. But thank you so much for joining us.